Hello, I'm Anu Omidei with headlines of this week's Christian Weekly News. A top European Union legal advisor has issued a legal opinion advising that employers may ban the wearing of headscarves, crucifixes and other forms of religious attire. The opinion was written for the European Court of Justice, which is the EU's highest court, but which is different from the European Court of Human Rights that has previously supported religious expression. The European Court of Justice is considering the case of G4S Secure Solutions, within which a Muslim woman was prohibited from wearing a headscarf in the workplace because it has a general company rule against displaying visible political, philosophical and religious symbols at work. Advocate General Julianne Cocotte provided her non-binding opinion to the court that the company was entitled to dismiss Samira Achbita, stating that whilst the company might have discriminated indirectly, it may be justified to enforce a legitimate policy of religious and ideological neutrality. But she went on to say that a company rule such as that held by G4S might easily affect employees of a Christian faith who wish to clearly wear a visible crucifix or, for example, a t-shirt saying Jesus is great to work. Christians are concerned that this opinion may affect the final ruling, which is expected by the European Court of Justice. In other news, scientists have been given further permission to experiment with a new technique of editing single genes using donated human embryos for genetic research. The Cambridge Central Research Ethics Committee has given the go-ahead to Dr. Kathy Nyakin of the Francis Crick Institute in London, who had already received permission from the Human Fertilisation and Embryology Authority months ago. She stated that she would like to understand the genes needed for an embryo to develop into a healthy baby. The technique is understood to be able to edit single genes by making a faulty gene inactive or replacing it with a healthy copy. But the fact that this will alter DNA of the embryo has drawn criticism and concern about its unknown consequences and the potential for the creation of so-called designer babies. Some Christians have also criticised the practice for destroying human life, as experiments will take place on human embryos donated by women within the first 7 days of its life, after which it will then be destroyed. And finally, many in the Christian community have paid tributes to Jan Crouch, the co-founder of the Trinity Broadcasting Network, who recently died at the age of 78 after suffering a massive stroke. Brian Houston, senior pastor of Hillsong Church, spoke of her legacy, whilst Grammy-winning singers Pastor Donnie McClurkin and Israel Houghton both expressed their sentiments via social media, referring to her friendship and kindness. Reverend Samuel Rodriguez tweeted that she and Paul Crouch had changed the world. But a touching personal tribute came from Carmen Lisiardello, who recounted that when he went through 10 months of cancer treatment and sent out 600 letters requesting support to 600 churches he had ministered at, not one responded, but it was Jan Crouch who paid his bills so he could focus on fighting the illness. Well, that's all for today. I'm Anu Omidei and this is Christian Weekly News.